Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Game Nexus. It's Dwayne here, and today we're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons in person. That's right, we're not playing it online, we're playing it in person. I've recently started running a campaign with my children, Michaela and Leo, and we're walking them through a very old Dungeons & Dragons module from 3rd edition called the Sunless Citadel. And in this adventure that you're about to see, they are just starting off, meeting up in the town of Oakhurst, and they're going to find that not everything is as it seems. They're going to meet a sad, grieving mother of 2 missing children, and they're going to learn a little bit more about the town of Oakhurst and some of the dangers that surround it. So come visit me at the table and see what it's like to play D&D old school. So right now you guys have experienced a good battle. You've achieved victory, meaning you've got the necklace that was missing that you were hired to get, and you guys have got some treasure to go with it. And you didn't get killed by a bugbear. So that was pretty good, right? Now you have to get back to town though. So the next step is hopefully you can actually make it back to town alive. Lady Chantery is the lady who hired you to get her precious necklace. And the town that you guys are traveling to is called Flora. And Flora is a small town in Glade Valley, if you guys remember that you were in Glade Valley. She's also going to pay you how much? Do you remember how much she's going to pay you guys if you return with her necklace?
You didn't tell us.
I did. Do you remember, Mac? How much she's going to give? She's going to give you guys 100 gold pieces. Now, there's 3 of you guys traveling, right?
No, 2.
Well, you have an NPC with you. Remember you had that girl that was on the ridge with her bow keeping an eye out for you? Yeah, well, the character sheet's there. You can grab it. Her name's Alora Rivenhawk. So you can have that, Matt. So Alora is part of your party, which means she also has to share in the treasure, right? Yeah. So 100 gold pieces. Do you guys know how much roughly you're each going to get if I give you 100 gold pieces? If Lady Chantery gives you 100 gold pieces, how many do you think you're going to get? You don't have to be exact, huh?
30. You're
going to get about 30 gold pieces each.
But what happens to the rest of 10?
The 10, you could divide it up again. So 10 divided by 3 would be 3. So you're probably going to get 33 gold pieces left, and there'll be 1 gold piece left. Okay? So 33 gold pieces each, right? It's not a large amount of treasure, but do you guys think that do you think it was a large hassle?
Yeah. For
the 100 gold? Like, do you think you should have asked for more gold?
Yeah.
Right. Now, did you get gold in that chest? I can't remember.
Yep. Yeah.
You did? Did you write it down on your character sheet?
Yeah.
Do you know where the gold is written on your sheet, Lee?
We do.
It would be the second page, I think. Can you tell them?
66.
Gold is... Where?
It's over on that side. Right there. Yes.
66? When you get back to see Lady Chantery, are you guys going to be just okay with handing her necklace? And if she gives you the 100 gold?
It was quite a lot of work for this thing. I think we should get a bit more.
Okay, now if you remember, you opened up that chest. You didn't take the chest with you, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of a silly thing to think you could carry a chest away. But you did take the gold, you grabbed the necklace, and you also took something else, Leo. What did you grab out of the chest?
A dagger.
Right, and I'll read the description of the dagger because it had a very interesting description. So, a small dagger wrapped in a blue cloth that has a gold dragon symbol. Right, so are you going to give her the dagger?
Well, when we get there, if she gives me something in return, how about
give her the dagger back?
If she asks if there was a dagger,
then you will. But if she doesn't mention the dagger, you're just going to keep it?
Yeah. If she doesn't mention the dagger, I'll keep it for myself. Okay,
that's fair. So you guys are actually not going to be quite getting back to Flora just yet. Okay, so I'm going to read something to you guys, okay? Okay. So the trip back to Flora takes you, now you're going to need a piece of paper, Mac, as well, okay? Because this part of D&D that we're doing in this session isn't going to be really combat oriented, meaning you're not going to be fighting goblins and creatures, but there's a part of D&D that you need to know how to do as well, and that's called interacting with non-player characters and talking to people. Because in this session, you're going to interact with some people, and how you interact with them will determine what information you get. Now, role-playing, you don't have to talk like your character, okay? If you don't feel comfortable saying how your character sounds, you don't have to. I will, just to make it fun, but you don't have to talk like your character. You can just say, hey, Dad, I want to ask this person this, or Dad, I want to say this, okay? And just use your normal voice. So here we go. So the trip back to Flora takes you along the new road, a route that all travelers of Glade Valley use when visiting other communities or points of interest in the valley. It was created at least 100 years ago when the now named Old Road that skirted the edge of a massive plain called Ashen, a lifeless plain of decay, fell into disuse because of goblin banditry. The Old Road ran right past ancient ruins shrouded in mystery. So what I want you to do, Map, on your piece of paper is I want you to draw a line that represents the new road. Okay, and that's the road that you guys, however you want to draw it. Yeah, however you want to draw it. Just draw a line and call it the new road. You can make a squiggly line if you want, and I want you to draw pictures of some trees beside it because you guys have been traveling through a forest, okay? So the new road is the road that everybody travels. So if everybody travels it, is it a dangerous road or is it a safe road?
Dangerous.
It's dangerous?
Safe.
What? Hold on, well, why do you think it would be dangerous?
Because if other people get attacked,
Yeah.
then that means we'll get attacked.
So you're thinking the new road is dangerous as well?
Yeah.
Okay, now what about this old road? Did you notice that I said something about it? It said it fell into disuse. Do you guys know what disuse means?
It means you're like not using it anymore.
Right, and it said it fell into disuse because of goblin banditry. Do you know what goblin banditry is?
Goblins took over it.
Yeah, they're bandits. So the old road stopped being used because of too many goblin bandits. Okay, and another thing is also ran right past some old ruins that were shrouded in mystery, and nobody goes there anymore. Okay, it's kind of like a don't go down the old road. Okay. So I'll continue reading for you guys, okay? Now the other thing I want you to do, Mac, is can you grab your phone?
Am I basically drawing?
Yeah, that's all it is, just drawing, yeah, and labeling it. And what Mac's doing right now, Leo, is she's mapping. With this session here, I don't have the ability to map everything I described to you, right? Because it takes too much work. So you have to use your imagination and go, Dad said there's an old road and some ruins. So in your mind, you go, what do ruins look like? Do you know what ruins are when I say ruins? What do you think of when you hear ruins?
They look like, they have pillars and like...
Is it in good shape? Is it in good shape?
Yeah, they have like steps in front.
I feel like it was like an old building.
Yeah, like an old castle that's crumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So can you grab your phone and can you go to the D&D Beyond? Because I have pictures that I want to share with you on the campaign page. So if you go to D&D Beyond, I can put some of this stuff in the D&D Beyond page so that as we're playing, you can show Leo and you can see the pictures that I have.
Don't you go, please. This is very good. Have to go.
Okay. So, next, right? Ahead of you lies the town of Oakhurst, not Flora, okay? Oakhurst is a medium-sized town that sits between the Greater Valley and the village of Flora. So that means before you get to Flora, you have to pass through Oakhurst, okay? Oakhurst is home to approximately 500 commoners and a small guard contingent, as well as the famous Old Boar Inn, okay, and tavern, where many adventurers stop and visit for the cook's famous ribs, okay?
Did we go there before?
No. As you walk through the town along its main street, you pause at a wooden job board. There is a woman who is hammering sheets of parchment into the board and sobbing between her hammer strikes. Do you know what sobbing is, Leo? Sobbing is she's crying. She's making sad sounds, okay? She is well dressed and exudes a sense of nobility by the way she is dressed and groomed. Do you know what nobility is, guys? When I say nobility?
Nobilities?
Nobility is like a king or a queen. So she looks very proper. She doesn't look like a commoner. She looks very wealthy and she looks very proper and maybe she's like important. She looks like she's important, okay? I'm gonna send you a picture in a second. By the way she is dressed and groomed, her blonde hair has streaks of white in it and her face is warm with fresh tears. Standing beside her are two armed men wearing blue and silver jerkins. Jerkins are vests, okay? Along and armed with swords sheathed at their sides. So Lee, can you repeat back to me what you got from that description? What I just described to you? What do you envision as you walk into town? What's one thing that when you heard me talking, one thing that you noticed?
They have swords, so I'll kill us.
The men, okay, yeah, the men have swords. What color are the vests that they're wearing?
Blue.
Blue and silver, yeah. Okay, what else, Mac, did you get from that little descriptive?
The girl is crying.
There's a woman crying, yeah. And what is she doing? What's the woman doing?
Hammering something.
Yeah, she's hammering pieces of parchment. Do you know what parchment is?
Parchment of paper?
Paper, yeah. Close. Parchment is like paper, like a scroll, you know, and that's what
Why
that
is she hammering it?
Well, you're going to have to ask her. So she's hammering it into a board that you guys see,
Oh,
okay? I'm going to share with Mac a picture of this woman, but when I described it to you, I want you to imagine in your mind what this woman might look like, and now I'm going to share a picture with Mac, and Mac's going to show it with you, okay?
Maybe.
Okay, but I want you to imagine what you think she might look like, this woman, and then I'm going to share a picture with Mac so that she can show you, okay? I'm going to put it in the player side of your notes, Matt, under the public notes. And she's going to show you a picture of this woman that's crying. So we know that the woman's crying. We know that she's hammering sheets of paper into the wooden board. And we also know that she's got two men beside her.
This is the person?
Yeah, show Leo.
But it closed up.
Okay, so we know that she's got two men beside her. Do you think the men work for her?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah, they seem to be standing there behind her. Yeah, and they're kind of guarding her, right? So there's a couple questions. Mac already said one. She's kind of curious why. What you guys said? What or why is she hammering stuff on the board?
I think that she's why?
You're curious why? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and so a couple things you need to write down, Matt, as well, and Leo can write this down as well. Is on your character sheet if you want, or on a piece of paper. So I'm going to ask Mac one question. I asked Leo the other question. So Mac, what was the name? You said this town that you're going.
Additional notes.
Yeah. Additional notes. There you go, Leo. Yeah. So this town that you are walking into right now, do you remember the name of it?
Nope.
See, this is why I do.
Selvindor.
No, it's Oakhurst. So Oak is spelled O-A-K. You can write this down if you want, Lee. O-A-K.
Oh, leave it down here. Yeah.
Yeah. O-A-K.
A.
Yeah. K. And then H-U.
H.
Yeah.
What
U.
does H look like?
H is down and then like a hook at the bottom. Yeah. H-U. R.
R space? Space R?
No, just R. After the U. Yeah. R. S-T. Now you don't have to write.
Is it a town?
It's a town. Now you don't have to write this next part down. But Leo, do you remember how many people live here that I said? Roughly? Do you remember the number that I said? How many people live here? No?
Didn't say anything.
Do you remember, Matt? How many people live here? 500. 500. How many people are at your school, Matt?
900.
900? Yeah. So it's about half the amount of people in her school. It's still a lot of people. Okay?
I'm going to write that down.
What's famous about the town? I said something that's really famous about this town.
They have the path.
Oh. Matt, what's famous about this town? I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with food.
Oh, they have a cafe, the hotel thing.
They have an inn or a tavern, yeah.
With famous food.
Famous food, ribs. Some famous ribs. The tavern.
I feel like we've been here with Katie.
No, the tavern is called the Old Boar. Do you know what a boar is?
It's
Hold on. No, let you say
They're gonna adopt me.
they're
Here, no, what's a boar? What's a boar?
Animal.
It's an animal. Yeah, it's like a wild pig.
Pig.
Yeah, with like tusks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the Old Boar, O-L, if you want to write that down.
O.
Yeah, O-L, space, and then space, and then B.
Old Boar.
Boar. Yeah, B-O. O-A-R.
Well, I have down, it says town Oakhurst, and then I said small town 500, famous for Old Boar.
Yeah.
Oakhurst.
Is the name of the town, yeah.
500. All but.
Yeah. Now my question to you is, there's 500 people living in this town, roughly. This is what you guys know from living in the world. Do you think they're all human?
No.
There might be elves. There might be dwarves. Yeah. Now the good thing about a town, Leo, is that you don't have to worry about monsters. Okay. When you're in a town, when we play D&D, and you come back to a town, you don't have to be so worried that the dungeon master is going to have all these monsters swarming into town. So we're in a safe place right now. Okay, so you don't need to worry about fighting. You don't need to worry about always watching on your back. Okay, you're in a safe area. I'll let you know if the town isn't safe by saying it was recently attacked by goblins or giants or ogres. Right. So right now you're safe. Let me read this to you before you start asking questions. The woman. You have to listen carefully because there might be information here. The woman turns to you and wipes away her tears. She walks towards you in a hurry, with the two men behind her scrambling to keep up with her. You there, she points at you, and then stopping a few feet away from you, she says, you look like you're a capable adventurer types. I have a proposal for you. She says while composing herself and adjusting her robe, okay, because she feels like she's a little in rough shape. You know, her hair is messed up and she's been crying, so she doesn't look presentable. She says, my children have gone missing on a quest, gone awry. They left Oakhurst a month ago with 2 others, expecting only to be gone a week. The time has passed when we were to expect their safe return, and I fear that they have passed from this realm. They carried signet rings with them, with our family name on them. If you are brave enough to help me find them, or at the very least, the rings that they carried with them, I will offer you 125 gold pieces each for the ring, and double that amount if you bring them home alive and safe. And she pauses. Okay, there's a lot of information in there. So what did you hear? Hold on, what did you hear in all that?
I heard.
Say all the good things.
No, just put your hand down.
If we find her kids,
Yeah.
we'll get double the amount.
Yeah.
Of what we get for the rings.
The rings. Now, do you guys know what a signet ring is? Do you know what a signet ring is? A signet ring is a ring that has a family symbol on it. So she says each of the children were carrying rings with their family symbol on it. So if you found the rings, you would know what they are. Okay? Go ahead. You had a question? Okay, go ahead, Matt.
She said you'd get 150 gold.
125.
125.
Yeah.
And then double that.
Okay.
For missing children that went on a mission
So
and didn't come home.
right. So why? How did? Sorry, I heard that. How did the children go missing?
They were going on a mission.
An adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go.
Now she said an adventure gone awry. Do you know what awry means?
Gone bad.
Gone bad. Yeah. So they were going on an adventure, and the adventure went bad, by the sounds of it. And they are now. How long overdue are they?
She said they were supposed to be back 2 weeks, but I don't remember.
They're supposed to be back in a week, and now they've been missing for about a month. Okay. So can you imagine if you guys said, "Hey, Dad, we're just gonna go downtown. I'm gonna go shopping down at the store," and then you didn't come home, and I've been sitting here for a month waiting for you to come home. Can you imagine how stressed out I would be? I'd be sending everybody in the world to go looking for you, right? But she seems to think that she needs help right away. So you asked that question originally. What is she putting on the board? Is what you're asking?
125 gold.
So
Each.
no, you asking what she was hammering on the board,
Oh, yeah.
right? You want to look at the board and see what she's hammering?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? Sure. No. I'm going to describe it to you. What she was hammering on the board were sheets of paper with pictures that were drawn by an artist of what her children look like. Okay? There's 2 names on the sheets. Okay? I'm going to read the names to you. Okay?
Write them down.
Yeah, for sure. Write this down. Okay, so the 2 names that are on the sheet. Hold on. So the one sheet is a boy or a young man. Okay? And it says the name Talgan underneath of it.
Calvin.
Talgan. Gen.
The next one, a girl.
Yeah, the next one is a girl.
We haven't read it.
Sure.
Gen.
Gen.
En.
Yeah, Gen.
Again.
And the next one is Sharwin. SH.
S.
Yep. H. AR.
A.
R.
R.
WYN. Okay, and one last word, the last name. The last name is Hukrell. H-U,
E.
yeah, U.
H-U.
Yep. C-R.
C.
R-E-L-E.
H-U-C-R-E-L-E.
Yeah. Now, in D&D, sometimes this type of part of the adventuring is you guys, Leo and Matt, need to discover information. So me as the Dungeon Master, I'm not just going to tell you everything. Yeah? Oh, you're waving. Okay. So me as a Dungeon Master, I don't just tell you stuff. I'm going to tell you a little bit of stuff, but you as adventurers might want to know more information. So let me ask you a question. Now that she's just described all this to you, okay? She said her children went missing. They were going on an adventure a month ago, and they haven't returned, and the adventure went sour. What kind of information would you want to know? If you were listening to this woman on the streets of this town, you were in the D&D world, and she just said all this to you, what information would you want to know? What questions would you have for her? She just offered to pay you lots of money.
Who are you?
Oh, you want to know who are you? Interesting. Okay. Are you curious about who she is?
Yeah.
Well, I wanna just roam around the town and
I don't know.
You can do that, but let's just focus on this for now. See. So Michaela doesn't know who she is. Do you know who she is?
Lady Gilmore.
Do you think that she's trustworthy?
Yes.
Why?
She seems very friendly.
So you think anybody who's going to give you money is trustworthy?
She seems friendly.
She seems friendly. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she seems sad, right? And she was very eager to pay you money.
Seems like she cares a lot about her kids.
Okay. So she answers your question. She says, "My name is Carowin Hukrell." She says, "My family owns a very influential merchant business in town here in Oakhurst. We've lived here for generations." She says, "I unfortunately am alone to look after my home. My husband has been gone for weeks searching the countryside for my children." She says, nobody in town has responded to our urgent pleas for help. No one wants to get involved. I fear that they must be dead. She said, nobody wants to get involved because of where they might have gone missing.
Another question.
Okay.
Where?
Well, hold on. Leo, do you have any questions after she says that?
Well.
Now, she says she owns a merchant company. Okay, that's another way of saying they trade goods. They're traders. Like they trade with people to sell things and buy things.
If we find your kids, can we stay here with you?
Oh.
Until our next adventure.
So you want to be able to have a place to live.
Yeah.
She says, if you return with either of the items that I've requested, I will ensure that you have lodgings indefinitely in Oakhurst, if that is your need.
Where are we going to be going if we ever accept?
She says, well, my children set off with 2 others, she said, on an adventure to the Sunless Citadel. She says, the Sunless Citadel is a cursed place. She said, that lies very close to the old road, she says, and bordering the Ashen Plains. She says, some say it is cursed. I told my children not to go, but they were insistent. And the men that they were traveling with were capable adventurers. None of them have returned. Question?
Who are they traveling with? Are they related? Like?
No. The men that they were traveling with are not of this town. Okay, do you have a question, Leo?
Well, if the people that were walking with them, they might have to try to split up so they could get to their hometown.
One question.
So they left them, you're thinking?
Yeah, and then the kids had to survive on their own.
Right, so maybe you want to ask her about these 2 guys that went with them?
Yeah, because I think they're planning to do something.
Okay, so she replies to you. Now remember, your character is a dragonborn, right? So your character isn't a human. So you always got to imagine that when you're talking, you're quite a tall dragonborn, and you're red. So when you're talking to her, she's constantly looking at you like she doesn't know if she can trust you, and she's a little bit frightened of you, almost as though she hasn't seen a dragonborn before, because you have a certain voice to you, and your tongue flicks out of your mouth when you talk like a dragon, like a lizard, right? And you've got horns on your head too. Yet you're wearing a cloak. So she's not too sure if you trust you. You, on the other hand, she seems really comfortable with. So she says to you, Mr. Voron, she says, I know not much of the men that they were traveling with. However, I hear that they did frequent the Old Boar Inn before they left. Perhaps you can find information at the tavern if you go inquiring.
Oh gosh, I have a question. What were they going for? Like, where did they go? The mission, what did they do?
Right, gotcha.
Where were they going?
So she says to you, she says, they were very tight-lipped on what they were going there for, even though I told them it was a cursed place. The leader of the group insisted that there was a marvelous treasure to be found there. I fear that that is what lured them in. So she says to you, she says, now, if you don't mind, have you agreed to take this quest upon?
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Say yes?
Yep.
Oh, gracious. And she bows down. She goes, gracious. She said, you have no idea how much this means to me. If you have need of me, I will be at my family home. And she points to the road that goes into town, past a series of buildings. And she says, you can't miss it. Our family estate is a very beautiful home, she says. If you need anything from me, come and see me. I advise you to maybe get to know the locals in Oakhurst. Perhaps visit the Old Boar Inn for information you seek. Please advise me when you decide to leave town to pursue this adventure. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to hand you another picture, okay? And it's going to be a picture of Oakhurst. Now, remember how I said this is theater of the mind? Okay? So you have to imagine this village, but I'm going to send you a picture, and I want you to take a look at it and kind of imagine in your mind what you guys would look like walking through it, okay? So hold on here.
You have my character on the outside of your sheet.
On my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
There's a dragon on there, I knew that.
Yeah. And I'm a dragon.
But you're not. You're half human dragon.
Oh, so I don't have wings.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm
The
5'8".
picture's there. I want you to show with Leo, and I want you to imagine what this town would be like. This is just a replica. This isn't really the town. I just wanted you guys to have something in front of you to sort of show you what the town would look like. And I've marked some points of interest on the map, okay? So specifically, there's numbers 1 through 7, and those represent different parts of the town that you guys can investigate or you guys can visit to get information. I will tell you that there is lots of information that I haven't told you yet. So if you guys want to get more information, you can decide to where to go and start asking questions.
Is their house the number 6?
Their house is number 2.
2?
Yeah. Number 6 is a temple. It's a healing temple. Yeah, the Old Boar Inn is number 5.
Probably.
So it's the Old Boar Inn is actually like right here. It's close to you guys.
Please go, Leo.
No, Lee, come on. He just wants to see the map. You can come around here and see if you want, Lee. On the big screen here. So this is the map here. So you guys are coming in here on the new road, and the tavern is like right close to you guys. In the middle of town
I need to draw on my map.
is a well where they get water and stuff. And here's some different buildings. There's the temple. That's where Carowyn Hukrell is. That's where she lives. Number 1 is the mayor's house. Okay. Up here, number 4 is the blacksmith. Over here is the general store if you want to go shopping. And over here is the jail. And over here is the old road. So that's where you guys would go if you wanted to head to the ruins.
Daddy, would this be like correct if I put the place like over here and this is the new road?
Yeah.
Where would I put the old road? And
So look at the picture there. The old road leads out of Oakhurst. So you can do the old road. It's a separate road going out of Oakhurst.
like right down this way?
Out of Oakhurst. So go wherever Oakhurst is and then draw a road out of there. So if you want, you can put Oakhurst on the other side of that little road there.
Yeah.
And then draw a separate road coming off of Oakhurst. And that could be the old road. Now, do you remember, you can go sit down. Do you remember what she called this place that they were traveling to?
Okay.
This temple, this God-forsaken place?
Boring.
The Sunless Citadel. Okay, so between the two of you, you guys can now decide if you want to visit certain places to get information. Leo said you wanted to know what exactly, or you want to know something about the men that she was traveling with?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said that she heard they visited the Old Boar Inn. So you could head there and maybe inquire. It is early in the morning, so you guys are well rested. You could get some breakfast. You're feeling like maybe you want some food in your belly. the Old Boar Inn might be a place to start answering some questions. All she says is that when you're ready to leave, come and see her first. Okay? So if you want, Leo, can you move your figures up
So
to the...
where did I put it? So this is the place where
Yeah, and then just draw a line out of town
This
going
way?
the opposite
This
way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Lee, do you want to move the figures and move you guys over to the Old Boar Inn?
Where's the Old Boar Inn?
Right here.
This.
No, this right here, this building. No, just in front of it here. Yeah, like that. There you go. And remember, you have Alora Rivenhawk with you. So if you want Alora to do anything as well, you can send her off on her own little mission to do something. If you want her to find some information out, or if you want her to go somewhere else, or you can say, I want you to come with us. You want her to sneak in the back door? She's not a thief. If you want, you can send her on her own little errand. You can say, hey, Alora, can you go here and maybe check
I want her to get
go.
some more information.
From where? Look at your map that I sent you.
I want her to. Oh, I gotta pick a place.
Yeah, exactly. There's about 7 places that you can visit in this town that you can get information from. So.
Where's house 3?
House 3 is the general store,
Oh.
and that would be right up there.
So wait, 1,
1 is the mayor's house. So the
Aren't
mayor's
there
house
people
is right
just
there.
like walking around?
2.
Yep. Well, you guys are just getting in. So if you are going to the Old Boar, I can describe that to you. But yes, there is people walking around the town, but it's early, remember. So a lot of people are probably still in bed and getting ready to start their day. So she was up early to put the signs up. So you're not going to see a ton of people, but as the day goes on, you'll see more and more people out doing their
I
thing.
want us to go in and Laura and Hawk to maybe just walk around and talk to people and get to know the people around here.
So you send her on a fact-finding mission?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me, sit down here. Give me a quick role play as to what you say to Alora. You don't have to say it in your voice, but just tell me what you're telling Alora so I know what she has to do.
I say we're gonna go to the Boar Inn, and you're gonna. We would like you to go and talk to other people around here and get some more information.
Okay, so she smiles at you and she says, I'm good at doing that. And she hurries off down the road. Okay, so Alora won't be with you for this encounter as she heads further into Oakhurst. Okay, so the Old Boar Inn. Okay, so here's interesting about the Old Boar Inn. You ready? I'm going to send you a picture of it, and I want you to show it with Leo as well. Okay, so Max got a picture, but I'm going to describe it to you, so listen to my description, okay? So the entrance to the Old Boar Inn is a set of double doors made from weathered wood. Above the door is a rather large boar head, carved from wood and painted to match its namesake. You can hear the sounds of laughter and music from within. Stepping through the doors, you are bombarded with a vibrant and chaotic environment. At least 50 people occupy the main area with a handful of staff scurrying between patrons' tables and the kitchen through a small set of swinging doors behind the bar. A large half-orc with dark brown skin shuffles back and forth along the bar, slamming glasses down and roaring with laughter as he does. The music, this must be Garen, the barkeep you have heard about. Okay? So 50 people means it's quite busy in here, okay? And I want you to imagine, Leo, do you remember when we went out to the Machosen Cafe? When Mom and Dad take you there for breakfasts and stuff, do you remember? And there's little animals in the back and there's like we sit down for breakfast. Okay. Well, it's like a restaurant.
No, remember when we got our ice cream?
Remember the place where you got your ice cream? After you had breakfast there?
Red Robin?
No. But it's sort of like that. I want you to imagine it's kind of like a restaurant, okay? But it's a fantasy restaurant with tables, wooden tables. It's not quite as modern as it is now, right? And there's one man at the bar, and he's the one that's serving people food, slamming drinks down with beverages and all sorts of stuff. And there's people running back and forth into the kitchen to make sure everybody's orders. You know, and it's kind of busy, okay? So when I described that to you, what's the one thing that stood out in your mind when I described the outside of the Old Boar Inn?
Carved head.
Carved head, yeah, of a boar. So there's this big head of like an angry pig on the outside above the door. And
wait, did you say in the restaurant what was there?
People, and there's a half orc at the bar serving people food. Okay, I'll show you what the half orc looks like. Come here, Lee. Look at this picture.
Oh my god.
That's in there.
I want to be able to record this for your thing.
It's all fun. You want to see what he looks like too, Mac?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked weird.
Oh no.
So he's the barkeep. Okay. And do you want to show Leo the picture of the Old Boar Inn there? I just sent it to the DnD campaign page.
I don't see that one.
Yeah. There you go, Lee. That's the outside.
I don't see the head.
The head's not there. Okay. So this place is managed by somebody by the name of Garen. And Garen is a half-orc, and he's quite a personality. But he's also known for having lots of information. So this is a place that you guys can get some more information if you'd like. You just have to decide how you're going to talk to Garen. Now he's a busy orc, but he does have time for you if you want to take some time to ask him questions. But you make sure they're good questions, because he doesn't have time for people who are wasting his time, and he's kind of gruff. So you can either one of two things. You guys can decide to use one of your skills, or you can ask me directly questions, because I'm going to be Garen. So if you just want to know something specifically, you can just ask the question, or I can let you make a skill roll, and if you succeed, then you can get some information from him. So what would you prefer?
But what if we get a natural 1?
A 1 is a failure, and usually that means that he's so irritated by your question that he might kick you out of his establishment because you're wasting his time.
Can we just talk to you about it?
You can talk to me as well, yeah. So you guys can go up to Garen. You catch him in a moment when he's not quite busy serving drinks to people. Okay? And you quickly find time where you can kind of slide in there and ask him a question or two. Okay? The only thing that he says to you, though, is if you want to talk to him, you better order some food. Oh, I'm busy. He says, can't you see I'm busy serving up food? In fact, what are you going to be eating? I mean, if you're going to be asking me questions, you got to be eating something.
Drink it all.
Yeah. Okay? So you guys are going to need to buy some food from him, okay?
What kind of food do we have here?
Well, you know, he's got all sorts of stuff. You name it. Breakfast? Got some really beautiful fried eggs with a nice slather of bacon.
What about pancakes?
Pardon me?
Pancakes.
Pancakes? Pancakes, all that fancy stuff from the big cities? We don't serve that. We serve good hearty meals here.
I'm leaving then.
Are you a vegetarian?
No, I just want pancakes sometimes.
We got some nice bread. Yep, we got some nice bread with some cream sauce, and we can put a little bit of bacon on the
What
side.
about some jam?
Oh, the best jams.
Okay.
Finally made from the fruits around the valley.
I have my order.
Okay, what's your order?
I'm having some toast with some jam and some bacon and eggs.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll tell you what, I'll even throw in some berry juice to let it slide down nicely. It's going to cost you each a gold piece. So subtract a gold piece from your character
No,
sheet.
I want bacon and eggs.
Okay, a gold piece.
A gold piece?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Subtract it from your sheet. On the second page, remember?
Secondary.
Remember you have your gold written down?
Now I'm 65.
So you had, what we said, you're going to have 47 leaves, what we said?
Yeah.
So now you have 46.
So write that.
Yeah.
Quite cheap.
Mm-hmm. Now, he says to you, now that you've ordered something, what can I tell you? Okay, I'll let you go first, Matt.
I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
I have no clue what to say.
If like what happens? Did you ever know about this thing? That there was a person that made her kids go on a trip, and then the kids got lost.
Oh, you want to know about the people that were with them?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna ask him if he knows about the people.
So he says the Hookral kids. Yeah. I know them. That's Talgan and Sharwin. Yeah, they came in with a couple of guys there a few times. They were making plans. They sat over there in the corner. He says they were making some plans to go off on some sort of grand adventure. In fact, that guy that was with him, who was leading them, he was spouting off one night about being a paladin of some holy order. He even claimed to have a magical sword he was waving around when he was drunk one night. What was the name again? Oh, yeah. He called himself Bradford. Sir Bradford, that was it. Yeah, that guy was a real crazy nut. He said something about all his holy god was going to protect him from whatever dangers they ran into. Crazy. There was like another guy with him too named Caracas. Yeah, I've seen that Caracas guy. He's a scout that usually patrols around the valley. We've seen him come in and out before too, but I guess he was getting caught up in the delusions of grandeur from that Bradford guy. All four of them trekked off together one day. Haven't seen them since.
Okay then.
Does that give you any information?
Yeah.
Did that help you with some information?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know their names.
Yeah, you do, or do you want me to repeat their names? Okay, yeah. So the paladin was his name was Sir Bradford.
Wait, that's his actual name?
Yeah, Sir Bradford. Yeah.
Sir? How do you write sir?
S-I-R.
S.
Sir.
Yeah, Sir S-I-R, and then
Quick.
Bradford.
I.
S-I-R. Yeah, and then Bradford.
Space.
Yeah, space. Bradford is Brad, B-R-A-D.
B.
Got that?
Ford, F-O-R-D.
Breath.
Brad, B-R-A-D.
B-R.
Yeah, A-D.
A.
D. Yeah, and then F-O-R-D.
Next person. Hurry up.
Caracas, K-A-R.
What type is he? A scout?
He was a scout, yeah. So K-A-R.
K.
Yeah.
I hate slow talkers.
A-R.
A-R.
Yeah, A-K.
A. K.
Karaoke.
A-S.
K.
So now I have last name, Herco, Rings, Paladin, Sir Bradford, Scout, Caracas.
Okay. So you got some information from Garen.
What is this again?
Oh, well, you remember the guy's last
After
name?
the A.
Oh, K-A-R.
K.
A-R-A. Yeah, A. And then K-A-S.
A.
A-S.
A.
And he is mentioning that Sir Bradford and Caracas, the scout, didn't live in Oakhurst.
Yeah, she said that
Yeah.
before. She said
Yeah.
not from here.
Yeah. Your food arrives
Yeah.
after he's done. It was really quick. A short little gnome comes out, and you can't even see the gnome's head above the bar, and all you see is the plates get lifted up like this. And he grabs the plates from them, kind of meanly, as the gnome goes scurrying off back to the kitchen, and he serves up your plates with your juice, and he goes, "There you go. Let me know how you like it." So I'm gonna let you guys ask a
Can we
couple.
tip him?
You can, yeah.
I'm tipping him 1 gold piece.
Okay. Do you know what a tip is, Leo? When somebody does a really good job serving you or giving you good service, you give them extra money. So Mac's gonna tip him an extra gold piece.
I
for the
only
good
have
service.
64, but that's fine.
So I'm gonna let you guys each ask one more question, and then we're gonna end our session for tonight.
Will we have time?
One more question each. You'll have time before you go to bed, yeah. But one more question before our session's over. What other information do you think you might want? You've learned about, now I kind of let it spoil, but do you guys know where to go, I guess is the question, right? She said some ruins.
I asked a question because I haven't asked.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Do you know any information about where they go and what, it's all about?
Interesting. Yeah, he does. Okay, you can tell when that comes up. He's like, yeah, I do know about that actually. His voice hushes for a second, and he looks around, makes sure nobody's paying attention. He goes, motions for you to lean in closer so he can whisper it and talk to you. Okay, you guys lean in. Okay, so he says to you, he goes, yeah. He says they went down the old road. He says, right past those ruins. He says, in fact, actually, I think they were looking for the ruins. He says they call it the Sunless Citadel. He says, you know why they call it the Sunless Citadel?
There's no sun.
He says the ruins fell right into the earth. He says there's a ravine at the end of the old road where the earth is just cracked open, and they say that the ruins, the citadel, just fell right into the earth. Now sun doesn't shine over it because the ruins are inside the ravine. He says some people say it's cursed. Legend says it belonged to an old dragon cult.
Interesting.
So what does it mean when I say a ravine? You know what a ravine?
It's like a big, you think it's like a river, but it's like a big crack.
Yeah, and he says the citadel, or the ruins, just fell right into it. So that tells you that you're going to have to go down. He says, I heard that they were going to look for treasure in the Sunless Citadel. Kind of a fool's errand, if you ask me. They didn't come back. Doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened to them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where we're going to end it for tonight. There is a little bit more information to learn, but we'll do that on our next session as well. But you guys will spend some time in Oakhurst, and I'll reveal to you what Alora Rivenhawk found out, because she's been digging around for some information as well.
Okay.
Okay, so before we go, you guys get some experience points. Okay? Yep, write down your experience points at the top there, where it says XP. And I want you guys to add another 100 experience points.
So 400?
So what?
400?
Yeah, add 100 onto it. So whatever you have plus 100 more.
479. Should I try to 4? Change it to
Just
4?
change it from a 3 to whatever, to a 4. Yeah. And that experience point is for asking good questions and for doing some role play with me and asking really good questions. Okay.
I'd say background says hermit.
Hermit means you lived on your own. Like you weren't like living in a big society. You just kind
Okay,
of
do you
choose
like
to
my
live
drawing idea? So there's a village, and then there's the old road.
Yeah.
And this is a new road.
Yeah. It's good. Keep that, please. In fact, can you put Leo's character sheet in that book as well as Alora's in that
Or
little?
just put it in the
Just
book.
put it in the book. There's a little flap in there for stuff. If you look, there's like little filters there.